In a world of unilateral pressure and dominance, Brazil chooses a different path, that of multipolarity. Despite sanctions and tariffs by Trump administration, this man has held the line, protecting Brazil's sovereignty. He's somebody who's now charting a new course and changing how the rules of engagement of the world should be. He's visited India 6 times and has been awarded with 2 of India's prestigious awards, the Indira Gandhi Peace Award as also the Jawaharlal Nehru Award for International Understanding. We're being joined in an exclusive conversation with the President of Brazil, President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Thank you so much.
President Lula stands as the unyielding voice of our fractured times. He's the champion of the marginalized, survivor of prison and multiple political storms. His comeback is legendary, his message uncompromising, and the message is the global South will not be silenced. Mr. President, welcome to India today.
Thank you so much, President, for doing this. You're here for the India AI Impact Summit, and you have warned the world about the fact that AI should not become a privilege for a few, nor a tool of manipulation. How do you think that this summit, and what do you think this summit has achieved for the global South?
Well, I believe that, first of all, just for the fact of Prime Minister Modi have called for the summit to discuss artificial intelligence, this is already something very positive, very important. Because in politics, if you don't make a debates, discussions, if you don't have meetings, if you don't have a mix of people in these debates, you can't manage to build a policy that will reach consensus to benefit the majority of the people. It's very important to take in account that artificial intelligence is something very important for humanity, but it should be the surface of civil society, and that it could make that the people could improve their living standards. On the healthcare, artificial intelligence will play a very important role, and education it can also play a very important role. But we have to be very careful so that artificial intelligence should not replace the human work, of the human being work. Because the bottom line is that Prime Minister Modi governs a country of 1,400,000,000 inhabitants that has to create jobs, that has to generate income and better quality of life for the people. So artificial intelligence has to be at the service of this, at the service of the growth of the country, of the improvement of the public and private services, and above all, with the perspective to improve the working conditions of all humanity. We cannot allow that artificial intelligence will have one owner only, or 2 owners. Who has to take over the artificial intelligence is civil society. And so that's why that this debate here in India was extremely important.
Mr. President, would you then say that AI is more of an enabler rather than a disruptor? And what are your views on what Prime Minister Modi says with regards to artificial intelligence, that it has to have some kind of safety, particularly for the children, and there has to be artificial intelligence which is guided by the families?
Well, first of all, yes, we have to regulate very rigid regulation, and we believe that this regulation has to be done through a multilateral institution that will have the size of the United Nations. And it has to be regulated to protect, above all, children, adolescents, and women, because we cannot allow that artificial intelligence could be used for things that are negative, that will cause harm and damage to the intimate lives of people, to provoke violence against people. So we have to have a regulation. Obviously, that you have 2 or 3 owners of platforms that do not wish regulation. But if we don't regulate and we lose control, I believe that it would not be good for humanity. It could be profitable for one or other person, but for humanity it will not be good. So that's why we, rulers, we have to have a clear idea to protect society against this extraordinary thing that is artificial intelligence.
President Sir, the fact that let's get to what we've been talking about just a while ago, about Brics, about the alternatives, about strengthening forums in a multipolar world. How do you realistically see Brics, which many are now envious of or question the whole bloc? How do you see it realistically function as a force to reckon with?
Well, the Brics was one of the most important things that were created in the last 3 decades. It's important for you to remember that we have the G7 that's been working in the defense of the richest countries and defending their policies. You have the G20 that was created on the occasion of the economic global financial crisis of 2008 that was created in the heart of the U.S. And then you have the Brics that is representing Global South. So it's something new because of the Global South and having countries like India and China, just these 2 countries carry half of the population of the world. If you include Indonesia, more than half of humanity is participating at the Brics. You're going to have a good percentage of those that participate in the Brics, and then you can establish a new dynamics of trade policy, cultural policy, and in the relationship between the states. So that's why I advocate for multilateralism, because after the Second World War, multilateralism allowed that we could have the quest of a harmony between the nations so that we can avoid conflicts, because every war starts with a trade war. And so we don't need trade wars. Brazil does not wish a second Cold War. If the first Cold War was between the U.S. and the Soviet Union, we don't want another Cold War between China and the U.S. Brazil wants to trade with the U.S., wants trade with China, with India, with Russia, with Bolivia, and with all countries in the world. And I'm in favor of free trade, multilateral and harmony between the nations. It's necessary that we should learn to respect the sovereignty of the territory, the cultural sovereignty of the peoples, of the countries. And so that's why I am a very strong advocate for Brics. Brics is something new, and it established relationship between new nations. We created a bank, the New Development Bank of the Brics, that has to work in a different way from other international institutions like the IMF or World Bank. We don't need to continue to copycat everything that happened in the 20th century. We can innovate due to the 21st century, due to the needs of civil society and the advances of society. The Brics is this hope. This is the expectation that we have. And if everything goes well, I will be here once again in India to participate in the BRICS Summit meeting that is being organized by the Indian government.